Hey guys, I just wanted to jump on and talk to y'all about something that I've been reading and studying over the last couple of days that's got me really excited about continuing on this journey of educating us on how to walk in wellness and why it's important. If most of you know me, I grew up on the regular American modern American diet of, whatever was frugal, whatever was cheap, whatever was quick to grab. We had grilled cheese sandwiches, hamburgers, tacos. And then as I got older and became a parent, I did start trying to get more fruits and vegetables into my kids. I'm not sure they saw me model that very well. I was just busy and, just like any mom is, and I would just grab what was fast. My weight wasn't an issue because of that, because I probably was too busy to sit down and eat myself. I would grab a cookie or a Pop-Tart out the door on the way to work. Really, what's the difference between a donut and a cookie, right? Looking back, I realized, oh my gosh, my blood sugar was all over the place. I remember shaking when I'd be at work because I'd be mixing coffee and in a donut or a muffin or that Pop-Tart, and I started to think, gosh, do I have diabetes or what's going on with me? But what it really was, that shaking was my blood sugar crashing, because it had spiked and then it crashed, and then when that happens, you start going, oh my gosh, I need something else. And most of the times I would reach for peanut butter crackers or something, which is another carb loaded with that turns into sugars, which spikes your blood sugar again, right? And so as long as my weight wasn't an issue, I just figured out how to control that shakiness by eating something else. But as I got older, I began to have health challenges. Most of you know I had thyroid cancer. Later on, I began to have a lot of digestive issues. I began to have ovarian cysts start forming, and then just the emotional health issues with just struggling with stress and things like that a lot of you probably experience. And so I began to seek out solutions for myself. And that's kind of what led me on this journey of recognizing that every drug that somebody put me on just created more symptoms. Every medical appointment I went to just added something else to my medical questionnaire form to put down. It just seemed to be spiraling out of control. So I have been on a journey to recognize that maybe the answer is not in looking for another drug, looking for the perfect solution, looking for the doctor that can tell us what's wrong and how to fix it. It's not about quick fixes. Maybe the solution is that we begin to provide a healthy environment for ourselves, that we begin to do things different and maybe question what we've always done. And that's hard. We get defensive about that. We think, it's always worked for me in the past. I've never had any issues. Why would I change what I'm eating? And that's the way I was. People could tell me all day long, drink more water, but I didn't really see the impact of not drinking more water, so I didn't have the motivation to change that. I continued to drink Diet Coke or sweet tea or, just whatever, because that wasn't impacting me. But what I want to tell you guys is that it will catch up to you, and that there's a reason why that stuff is not good for us. And so here's something I learned as I was reading and studying some Dr. Carolyn Leaf's work. She's a neuroscientist. She's brilliant. She's done some amazing research. She's continuing to try to fund that research, really helping with ADHD, autism, anxiety, lots of mental health conditions. She's passionate about getting the message out that the way we're approaching it with psychotropic drugs is not necessarily the answer, that there's a better way. But as I was reading on that today, she was talking about the importance of nutrition for our brains, for our mental health. And so if you haven't been that concerned about your body, what I want to tell you is that the way that we nourish ourselves, what we're putting into our body, not only impacts our physical health, it impacts our brain. It impacts our mental health, our ability to process emotions, to think clearly, to have good memory, to have the ability to recall. And so it's super important that we learn about what we're doing and how it's impacting us. And so one of the examples she gave was how our gut is like an ecosystem, okay? And so if you think about, do you ever have a kid make an ecosystem project, or that biome project where they get the cardboard box and they get the little trees and they set up the perfect little ecosystem for, whether it's the rainforest or the desert or, whatever it is, and they get the little animals. Camden made a really cool one time with clay and had the cute little butterflies and monkeys and stuff in her rainforest. And so we learn about that stuff, and we're actually pretty passionate about protecting the ecosystems of our environment, of our animals and our wildlife. And we care about, don't cut all those trees down, you're killing their homes. Or we take care of our dogs, and we make sure that they've got a good environment, that we're feeding them well, and they're safe. We care about the environment of our kids, and what the school is like that we're sending them to. We care about, I was just at the beach last week, and I would have never dreamed to have thrown a straw in the ocean. I'm going to protect that environment for the habitat that's there. But we forget about our own habitat, the inside of us has an ecosystem. What are we doing to protect that ecosystem? What are we putting in our bodies? It's creating a massive toxicity within us. And I never thought that I would talk about that. I used to just scoff at that when people would say that you had toxic overload and you need to get rid of toxins and you shouldn't eat this, you shouldn't eat that. And it's not really so much about what we should or shouldn't do. It's more about what we should do. We should care for the bodies that God gave us and recognize that He has designed our body for health. He's designed us, to be able to handle when a little something comes in that creates inflammation. There's a whole process that our body does to protect and to combat that. But when we overload constantly, putting processed foods and refined the sugars into our body over and over and over, it gets to the point where our bodies can't work effectively anymore. And the systems that He designed for our benefit are just being shut down. And so it's time that we kind of wake up and start to question the way we've always done things. If we care about the health of our children, if we care about our own health, I'm 49, about to turn 50, and I'd like to live, if I'm going to live, I'd like to live, as healthy as I can, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And some of the things that we're seeing is the statistics showing that the way we're eating, our nutrition, can have an impact on lifestyle diseases. This doesn't cost more money. We don't need to go get a prescription. We don't need to go get on a drug. We need to start taking care of ourselves. We need to start doing this the way that, God gave us good, whole foods. It's time to start figuring out that the answers are, within us and around us. And, we need to take personal responsibility for that. So that just gives you a glimpse of why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I hope to help you avoid some of the mistakes I made. And as we learn it, hopefully we can begin teaching our children a better way. So just thought I'd share that with you guys. If you want to check out Dr. Caroline Leaf's work, she's got a great podcast. Let's see what the name of it is. I wrote it down here. What is the name of her podcast? I may have to put the link under the video. I'll put it under there for you. And some great books, great resources. She's she's pretty smart. So you have to, if you don't like to read in depth, I'll keep trying to break that down for you and share little bits and pieces. I'm planning to go to one of her conferences in December, I'll keep sharing and keep learning, and let's keep trying to do things differently.